In this example, we're going to use the data from this spreadsheet with this letter through Autocrat. We're going to take that, merge that together, and send some emails. This is how we're going to get started. We're going to take our table of data that we have here, and we're going to look at the tags that we have at the top, and we're going to replace them in the letter. I've pre-changed the colors of these here on red. And we're going to take these and we're going to make sure that they match. So here, if I want to put student name, I'm actually going to copy this student name. And we're going to paste that without formatting so we can keep the formatting of the document. And we're going to put before and after this, 2 of each of these. So we have 2 less than and then 2 greater than signs. And that's where it's going to know to pull and put the information from this tag. And I'm going to complete this throughout the rest of the letter. Now, you wouldn't keep these in a different color. We would want to change this so it didn't look different, but I wanted you to see for our example that they stood out so we could kind of grab those. We're going to make these all the same color. So that's step 1. Step 2, back in our spreadsheet, we're going to start running the add-ons. So under extensions and add-ons, you're going to start by going to get add-ons. And here we can search for Autocrat. And it'll be here on your list. I already have it installed, but you're going to click on it and click the install button. So that will run onto your sheet. And you may need to reload the page, but then under extensions, you will find that listed here below. Once it's installed, you're going to go ahead and click launch, and it's going to open up a menu. And from here, we're going to tell it that we want it to start the job. We click new job to get started. It's going to ask you to title the job. We're going to hit next, and it's going to ask you to choose a template from your drive. So we're going to go to our drive and we're going to find that letter that we just started with. It's here. You might have to search for it at the top, but mine is right here. It came right up. And we should see that here, and we hit next. And then it's going to automatically try to figure out what tab you're on. If not, you can just make sure you have the current sheet selected. And that your header and first data are correct. And then you're going to do some double checking of your mapping. In my case, it tried to do the mapping for me and it did it right. It figured everything out. So we're good to go. If not, you could just come to these drop downs and adjust it. Sometimes you'll see there's a little tag here that's drawing your attention to the fact that it could not figure it out. And from here, it's going to ask you to create a name from the file. I can use this little bump out at the left to add smart tags to my file name. So for example, if I click on that and then paste that in, I can put the student name and the date they received that infraction right here in the actual file name. Now, because I don't want these to be changeable on any level and I want them to be readable by anyone, anywhere, I'm going to change them to PDF. I'm going to keep that in a multiple output mode because I'm going to be sending emails to each person. If you wanted one big document with all of these together, you could do single output. That's great if you wanted to print out all of these infraction letters together. All right, now this is a really important step. We're going to find a place to put this. We don't want this just to spill around in your drive. You'll have all these individual files floating around. So we're going to go to our drive and we're going to find a folder we can put them in. If you don't have one, before you do that, you come out here and create a folder for them, but you want to find a good place to put them that is out of the way. And we're going to hit select and then next. This would allow you to create dynamic reference folders that would put different like sorted folders per person. We're going to skip through that. Merge conditions. If you wanted it to run at certain times under certain conditions. For example, I could say run it if the infraction equals, and you could put today's date or something like that. We don't need that in this case. We want it to run all of them. So we're just going to skip that. All right, we want the document to be shared, being sent in this case, because it's a PDF. And we're going to send it by email. So here in the tags, this is where we're going to go, and we're going to get the email address, and we're going to paste that in so where it knows where to go. And again, I could use these tags here to get the student name and the subject, and we're going to hit next. Now, we can set this up so every time if this was filled out on a form, meaning someone is filling this out and it was populating to here from a form, you could turn on the form trigger and it would run every time somebody filled out the form. We could run a time trigger, meaning, and this will come up if you enable triggers, that it runs every day, okay? Every 12 hours, every 24 hours, it would rerun without me having to get involved in it again. So every day it would automatically send out the letters if I add them to here. So that's how those work. And then we're going to hit save. Everything is all set up. All that's left to do is hit this play button to run it. So this is all set. So I'm going to hit the run job, and it's going to run our student infractions. You'll see the merge sequence is started. And underneath it on the spreadsheet, you'll see it's starting to fill out what's happening. You can see that documents are being created. Okay, if I click on this one here, it says document successfully merged, PDF created, emails sent. They were manually run by this person at this time. And you can see as the documents are successfully created and merged, it is going to run here. All of these documents live in your Google Drive in the folder that you've created. Here you can actually click and open up your documents straight from here. You'll see what was sent. And you can see these were all sent. They're here. I sent them to myself. All right, you should see them in your sent messages in your Gmail. Here I can see what it looked like. I didn't put any text in the body of the email, but I could have done that as well. I could have added some information to that email as well. Or I can just send the attachment with the name and all the information. So this is loading up what was attached and sent to that parent.